Boom.
Hi. You're early. I was like, oh my God, he's waiting on me in the room.
I'm always early. First of all, always early, and so I was just on there just waiting.
You know what? Early is on time, like I tell my students.
Yeah, well, that's one thing my dad ingrained in my head here. Early is to be on time. To be on time is to be late.
There it is. Yes, my dad did the same to me, as in he would leave us if we were not ready on his
Yeah,
time.
a Chinese thing. You think it's a Chinese thing?
I think it's a Chinese thing.
Hi, welcome to the Sifu Mimi Chan Show. Thanks for joining the conversation. Brett Chan has carved out a name for himself in the world of stunts and action. You've seen his work in Warrior, Marco Polo, and Wednesday, where he brings dynamic fight sequences and action to life with his keen eye for creativity and passion. I catch up with Brett to talk about the evolution of the stunt industry, the artistry behind action choreography, and what's next on his slate. It's exciting to hear Brett talk about his love for action and his love for his team, Hits International, a group of amazing superhumans that are doing such great work in films and shows around the world. Whether you're a martial arts fan, an action junkie, or just love behind-the-scenes peek at the world of stunts, this episode's for you. Plus, his opinion on the if and when will Warrior be back. I've been enjoying these conversations and hope you have too. If you have, please rate my podcast on your platform of choice and share it with others. If you would like to support with a donation to help keep this podcast going and support the work I do, like my most recent patron, Michelle Montag, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you. You can do so on my website at patreon.com/SifuMimiChan. For comments or suggestions, reach out on social media at SifuMimiChan. Now, on with the show.
Hello, Brett. Nice to see you again.
Hello.
I think it's actually been a few years since you and I spoke, which seems kind of crazy, but factual.
Well, we can talk all the time, though.
Yeah, obviously.
Media.
I mean, we're related, Chan family.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not like we have to talk all the time to be connected because, we're basically family.
But we're kind of always gabbing at each other on social media.
True.
Watching you in China, do your martial arts, watching comments here and there, some kind of talk.
I know. I feel very connected because we also talk to the same humans. I actually just 2 days ago spoke with Langley. And he said to give you a virtual hug. And I was like, just a hug? And I was like, you don't want me to throw anything? He goes, all right, and a roundhouse kick. And I was like, oh, I'll have to stretch before that episode.
Yeah. Well, I know that feeling. My age is catching up with me too. I feel that too.
Right? It's the recovery and the warm up.
Yeah, but I went through a couple of knee injuries. So I've been rehabbing those.
Okay.
And I just haven't been able to get into it like I usually do. Usually I just jump in, start kicking and like that. And now it's just, well, hold on, I felt that one. That was a little different. So I can't actually, when you're fighting or you're doing choreography or whatever, you're moving, you kind of know what you're going to do.
Yes.
But your body's just not responding as fast. So it changes how you think how you're going to do things. And so that's having to change how I kind of also do choreo. So, I mean, I don't want it to. I'll have the guys that can do that stuff still.
Of course.
Yeah. But only you kind of know what steps you're taking, which move you're going to do and all that stuff. So I started training a little bit differently. I trained with Sammy X, Peter Vekoff out of Vienna. Fantastic. I don't know if you've seen his stuff. He has a wide range of stuff from Panatukan to axe fighting to hatchet, and he does stick fighting. He also does a lot of Krav. He does a lot of really focused realistic stuff because he teaches all the prison guards and the forces of Austria. And there's a lot of seminars. And then I trained with Master Kim out of Korea, which is TKDD.
Of course.
And those guys are fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You better get your kicking game up for that, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's the TKDD, which is a system for they teach all the special forces for South Korea, Vietnam, Philippines, Mexico. So there's all practical application stuff as well, which is derivative of Taekwondo defense, which they want to showcase that it's not just Taekwondo is just
Kicking,
kick.
yes, yes,
Mainstream people think Taekwondo, oh, you can kick. Well, yeah,
100%.
they definitely have a sense of how they chamber their kicks, but it's how they do their knives and how they do sticks and how they do defense,
Yeah.
how they do gun and stuff like that. So it's the same thing.
Yeah, and all of it, martial arts in general, for like listeners that aren't necessarily martial artists, like everything is so foundational. So it's like if you just have those foundations and those basics, then you can adapt and learn. Like you have so much foundation and background that it seems like it's, I wouldn't say easy, but it sounds pretty, you make it sound pretty easy to adapt to all of these different styles.
It's, as once you reach a certain level of martial arts, I mean, it goes for anybody who excelled so much at one. I mean, it's a little bit of adjustment. Like you have, let's say, if you go from, let's say, kung fu to karate, like, yes, it's a very different styles. Like Shotokan is very pom, 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 and karate is very, kung fu is this way. But you have the foundation, and it takes you a little bit to adjust. But once you adjust, you get the concepts because the concepts are all kind of the same in general. Why you would do this for this defense, why you would move this way. It's just the execution's a little bit different.
Right, right, right. And in terms of like, we've talked about this before, but you're just really great at taking all of those different things, all the different styles and pieces. And then when it comes to putting it on screen, that's like another art in itself. Like it's like all this martial arts, but to be able to adapt it to look good on screen, I think people don't realize just really great martial artists can't make that happen. Like I'm very curious, like into the mind of Brett, because like when you're at a set or you read a script or you're looking at, whatever the action design is, like, are you seeing it in your head first? Like, is it like, like Beautiful Mind where you've got like all of the things imagery and then like you stand there and then you start to play it out? Or are you more like, I need to physically get in and block things out kind of thing?
Scenario wise, so I'll read the scene.
Okay.
And I'll kind of imagine because when you're reading the script, you don't actually have the set. It's described on here, but it's not really, it's different for everyone and person writing it, for the person producing it, for the person, the director creating it, and to the actual set. So yeah, I'll just think about the actual choreo and what is around me, and I'll start walking through my head. Okay, this guy. I'll start watching and see what the guys are moving like. Excuse me, giving them some character, giving them some movement base wise and why he's going to do this. And it's basically just movement first, choreo. And then when I actually get a space, like just an empty space, then I'll grab the guys. Well, I'll do it first in my head. I got to go down there and I got to do it in my head first without anybody there. Cause I hate doing choreography and having guys stand there waiting for me to tell them what to do. No, because it's like they're all and they're all martial artists. So they're all chomping at the bits and for me, when I'm sitting there thinking in my head, for them, it's thinking like this is taking forever. But I have to get to my head. So I get through the motions. Okay, then I'll create the choreography. Then I'll put the guys in. Like, you do this, and I got to see how they move in every spot. I'll change this move, Okay, great. And then I get the actual set that we build it in. So we build like box sets now, and then I can take everybody and walk through it. And then, but before they do, I walk through myself first in my head again, just so I know what to tell the person what I want to see.
Yeah.
Everyone has a different interpretation of what they're going to do. So if I say a roundhouse kick, spin hook kick here, everyone has a different interpretation of how they're going to step, they're going to move. So I got to walk through myself first, so when I see them do it, I can actually correct it. Not correct it because they're doing it wrong.
But for the vision.
For the vision, yeah. And most of the time, I like to tell people, I like to play on their strengths. So, like if it's an actor, I'm not going to tell them to do this movement where only a stunt double can do. If the director wants to see a lot of the actor's face in this, I try and create stuff that they can do. And if they can't, obviously it's the play on the camera and the double. But you want to give the actor a fighting chance and the director to see that. A lot of times, directors have been looked at, well, that's all stunt double. I can't see their faces. Well, you got to cut into it, and then in the middle of the motion, you cut into their face. He goes, well, there's like, well, I don't want to see that. I want to see the actor do something. So, a lot of these times, a lot of these guys create these previses were fantastic. I've seen some of these previses like they're, astronomical. Awesome. But there's no way you're going to shoot that with an actor.
Yeah.
You have a ton of cuts. You can hide with the camera, the angles like that. That's great. But sometimes, and this whole big thing about directors, they all want oneers, And it's like, okay, well, it's a double. Unless you're mask or unless you're high wide or how are you going to do it? So, you have to think about how you're going to shoot the actor being mostly in the shot if they can. Ideally, it's great to have an actor that can do stuff.
Yes.
From Warrior, I mean, Andrew Koji, Joe Taslim, I mean, Mark Dacascos.
Yeah. You're like, ooh, we can do exactly what we did in the previous.
completely blessed, and you have the ones that work their asses off, like Olivia.
Yes.
Like she works her ass off, not a martial artist by trade.
Yes.
Or Jason Tobin, who wasn't a martial artist by trade.
Yes. Yes.
It wasn't until after Warrior then Jason started doing. He really got into martial arts. He started doing. I sent him to QCQ in Hong Kong,
Yes.
CQC, and then afterwards he started doing jiu-jitsu. So now he's an avid martial artist now. Before, he always loved it.
Right.
But it's not like he was really an avid martial artist. Like Joe's like Olympic level.
Oh yeah, he's next level. Absolutely.
So, and Andrew was a tricker. Like he did a lot of trick fighting before, which was trick kicking, which is he wasn't a tricker. Tricker's like a parkour tricker.
Right. So like very like acrobatic and
right. Where Andrew was he's more like XMA, where the movement of the spins were created by a kick. So it could legitimately look like it was actual kick while doing crane movements. And that's a difference between the two. As you see a parkour guy come in, he can do some cool stuff, but it looks like just cool stuff.
Right. There's no martial intent behind it.
There's none.
At the foundation.
You can tell the difference. And so when I watch movies that are like that, I'm like, okay, well, I just don't see anymore. Just give me some legit. Like I know you're never going to really do that in a fight, anyways. But the idea of the movie is that he's able to do this. At least make it look
like there's got to be a little connectivity. Yeah,
not just like cool trick.
I need to find a way to sit with you live and watch a movie so I can hear all your commentary.
It's actually it's some. My wife hates it because she's like, okay, I get it. Just enjoy the movie.
Tell her I'll tag out because I'm actually really interested in hearing.
She gets annoyed. She hates watching action flicks with me because I'm like, I
used to be that way.
When I watch fight scenes and I see they did this just for convenience. So your doorbell or my doorbell?
Yours.
My doorbell? Wait. When I see something happening for the convenience of the moment, I'm like, they could have done something more to make it the reason why they're doing this,
Oh, I know.
Opposed to like, hey, fight, butterfly twist. What was it like,
I say that all the time. I was like, we don't need. And then if there's like unnecessary wire work when it's not like a fantasy or, fantastical film, like I'm like, there was still an opportunity to just stay on the ground there.
If you're going to do a butterfly twist, give me a reason why you have, he's sweeping a sword underneath me or going for a foot sweep or, you want the butterfly to get out of the way further or something. If you want to create that flash and the flourish, understandably, it's heightened, especially people who don't do martial arts or don't know us, but they see shiny, like, oh,
yes,
that's cool.
yes.
Right. But you want to give for the people that are martial artists, to give for the people that are for this level so they can say, yeah, that was kind of cool. That would legitimize why you did that movement. And, it's all right. But I mean, I take these movements. It's like, because coming back, it's Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was all about hybridization. And, if you talk to Shannon, she'll tell you all. Yeah, did you talk to Shannon?
I haven't. Do you want to hook me up?
Oh, well, I'll see what I can do. She's pretty busy.
I know. I'll be in LA soon, so I'll come to her.
But she, she'll and her books on her. She does a read on a chapter. Every week.
Yes.
And she talks about the philosophies of Bruce Lee. He's talking about like be like water. So a lot of that goes to that, which I think just flows naturally for me. Because it's always how I've looked at martial arts.
Yeah.
So, I like it.
Yeah. And, it's funny because I love how passionate you get when you start talking about action, because sometimes when you're in the industry as long as you've been, not to age you, but you and I have spoken before about like the 90s and like kind of that intro to and just like how much it's changed. But like sometimes people get a fatigue and you just seem to keep getting supercharged by it. Like you seem to just like love it.
When I get excited, I start talking fast, right? And a lot of times I got to tell the directors, okay, if I start getting too excited, let me know, I'll slow down. But it's not even about like, Uh, just watching action in general. Like actually, most of the times I don't like watching most action films because I get combat fatigue.
Yes.
But when you have a film that has action that's for a reason, and it's
Hmm.
not all action, 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 and there's story in the character, then I really love it, and I
Yeah.
appreciate the action that's in it. Whether it's a car chase, whether I'm designing a car chase, a fire burn, a boat, a fucking sorry, I
Yeah, you're
swear.
good. It's
I mean,
open. You
okay,
can swear. I do all
anything.
the time.
I'll get passionate about those things because it really, it really pulls you in. And that's what storytelling is about. You want to
Yeah.
pull people in. You don't want to just like, here's all this action, blah, you know.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
16 originally had the script I'm supposed to be directing, and we're very close, and then went away. Then we got very close, it went away. Blah. But hopefully we'll get closer anyways now. But I mean, when I first got the script, and there was like action, 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 action. I'm like, ugh, no. So I literally took out like good about 50% of the action, and
Yeah.
then we rewrote it. So the writers Jason Bork and Phil Mitchell, or myself, we talked about it, talked all the points I want to see, why this, and they're okay, great. So we started writing, and that script is actually in such a good spot right now. It's
Amazing.
is great. Where it's going out right now, so hopefully we get some offers. We had a few things. I mean, Andrew Cody's attached to it.
Yes.
Miles Brown from Blackish, and so we lost one actor before because the time schedule moved, and so when we lost that, then we lost some money.
I see.
So
I see.
hopefully this next one. Then we had a bite with one actor who he didn't like the character that he was presented with, but he liked the script, he liked the passion.
Yeah.
And he said, write a bunch of things for us and show this character. So we did as per his notes. And then he just never got back to us. So we're like, at least tell us yeah or no. But
Yeah. That's
anyway,
frustrating.
we got it to another producer, to Richard Sharkey. Anyways, he read it. He loved it. So right now it's on the move in other places, and hopefully it goes soon.
Yeah, I mean, so because I was like kind of trying to do a little due diligence before I spoke to you, and I'm like, what is Brett up to? And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, 16. I'd heard about it, and that of course Andrew Koji's attached, and you'd be directing this film, and that's always interesting to me when you have like someone with as extensive knowledge as you do, kind of taking that helm because it just makes the film to me have a different tone. Like you said, you immediately were like, "Hey, anything superfluous action wise, let's make it make sense." And I think that's
That
really
worked.
cool that you get that opportunity because I feel like it makes a big difference. And I'm very excited and I'm rooting for you guys. And it'll be
I
very
like that
soon.
word, superfluous.
And also not in conflict with your other things projects that you have on the slate because you're never in Canada. You're like always in another country and in a different time zone. I can never track where you're at, and which is great. That means you're busy, which is good.
Well, actually, I haven't really that busy lately. I mean, I had 6 shows, literally six, and they all pushed. I actually had this one show that John the Tropper is directing, and it was supposed to go September last year. And so I turned out a bunch of shows, and then I got pushed to January. And I was like, darn it. So no problem. Okay, I'll just weather the storm. And I stayed on this one show I was doing. So okay, no problem. And then when January came, it got pushed again. I'm like, ah. So, it was kind of frustrating, but that's the way the film biz is.
Yeah, that's
Um,
showbiz.
yeah. I mean, I will literally punch anytime I chance work with John the Tropper, with Richard Sharkey, Brad Kane, Josh Stoddard and Evan Endicott. Those guys were all from Warrior. Like they're, oh my God, fantastic. Richard Sharkey. Yeah. I mean, Lonnie Prester. So him and I were supposed to do a movie. Like he was supposed to direct, and I was supposed to be on it with him. And any chance I get, I'll work with Lonnie. The guy he's a master. But so yeah, I did. I was performing for about a month on a show called Invasion in Vancouver, and then I went to Saudi Arabia and I did a sequence scene on an Arabic movie over there, which is
Okay.
crazy over there.
Wow.
Um, Yeah, it's just you're in a whole new world. Although I know Saudi Arabia has opened up to the world now, and they're trying to be more open to the Western world, but it's
Yeah.
still, it's still their traditions and stuff like that. And the people take a long time to adapt to this. And although you see some change there, but it's still, me coming there, it's still very alien kind of thing.
Yeah. Imagine the film world is a little different, like the pace of it and
Yeah,
different
the pace.
rules.
Oh my God, yeah, definitely. But it was an interesting experience, and they were cool cats over there, and then that's it. So all my
Oh
shows
yeah,
were
not
good.
busy at all, Brett.
But that was like I listen. I finished my so I did Operation Hadal. Did you watch that one? Yeah, that one, the one we shot in China.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, I've been posting all sort of snippets on my Instagram, stuff like
Hmm.
that. So that one, but then didn't really work. September, 3 weeks, and I worked a week in October. That's it. That's been a while. I'm usually,
You're practically
I'm
on
usually,
vacation.
yeah, exactly. So now there was a show that came up in Canada that I've been talking to, and they're really cool. I actually had a show. It was called Seven Cossacks.
Hmm.
That was supposed to start for me in February, and it's about it's like Seven Samurai,
Yeah. Oh, cool.
but it
But
is
seven Cossacks.
yes, same era. But
Okay.
the producer and the director are Ukrainian Jewish.
Ooh, okay.
So that's why it was a thing for them because he wrote this a little while ago. So it's because the people that were in the villages were Ukrainian Jewish people, and
Hmm.
they had some Polish in their village and all this stuff. So the story is kind of similar. There's a lot of differences, but it's the same base. And that was supposed to go, but things happened with the money people, and things changed, and
Yeah.
things got pushed. The problem is, I had like a whole team of 40 people standing by, and they're all ready to go, and
Oh,
they're turning shows down. So when this all fell through for them, I'm like, "Ah, I'm sorry, guys, go take
yeah.
work."
Yeah.
So now
Yeah.
they're all scattered, taking work all over the place. But I feel bad because a lot of them had given up some jobs, and so, but at the same
But they
time,
know the nature of the biz too. I mean, you've
they
given
do.
them a lot of work. So,
It
I
just kind
mean,
of sucks.
and speaking of which, like you've created this really cool thing where, of course, you have your hits international, so you have just like this pool of amazing talent to pull from at all times. Essentially it seems like how it works. And I think back in the day, there were some like similar things. Like there were stunt companies, and it was like kind of like not central casting for stunts, but there were kind of like two, right? And then now it's like you guys have all these different little groups that are able to kind of have specialties and everything. And so I'm curious because, of course, it's been like a million years since I've done film or anything like that. But like, what does it take to be a part of the Brett Chan stunt team and to be in Hits International? Like, I want to start out in the stunt industry again, or whatnot. Like, what are those steps? Like, what do people have to do? Because people wonder, like, have things changed? I mean, a stair fall is still a stair fall, or do they AI everything now? Or, people wonder like how things are always changing in your industry. And I can always tell, right? I can always tell when things are on a set or if it's this, and then that feeling like I'm a little old school. So I have my preferences, but like, what does it take to kind of not just break in, but be a part of this? And I feel like the principles are probably the same. You have to work hard. You have to like do the thing, but like, how hard is it to get to be on the Elite Hits International roster?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it's international is the elites. It's just there are a lot of groups out there right now. There's definitely a lot of groups. There's still a lot of groups. The reason why I started forming Hits International is because I needed. Well, it was actually initially supposed to be an international promotional site.
Mm.
It's for people that I want to work with around the world that I think are really cool. So it's like a bunch of my friends. We're making movies. I mean, how much? How much better does it get than that? I mean, I'm in another country. They've paying me to be there. They're giving money to be there, paying me good money to be able to play a knight, well, a soldier, a king, a monster. I mean, and I'm doing this with my buddies, and we're rolling around in dirt, and we're getting thrown off cars, or we're getting hit by. I mean, that was the original concept of it all. Thing is that because it's a highly competitive market. So, like people in the business, they want to see you do well, but nobody wants to see you do better than them. So that becomes a problem because you're competing with the same people for the same jobs, and a lot of people just aren't very nice about things. I wanted a group of people I could stand next to them, call them my brother. There's groups out there where there's no way I would want to be part of it because although the general group members are all really cool, they have some real asshats in there, and to stand in that group and have your name attached with them, it's just it's like, it's not good. It was international promotional site at first. And then I guess some people started getting threatened and things were just not going well. And so I said, you know what, screw this. I'm gonna make a group. And that's how the group started going. And so all the members that were in at the time, I said, listen, I'm changing the format. It's now going to be a group. We a team. We represent each other. This and that. This and that. And some guys left because they were scared of the political backlash.
Oh, okay.
And some guys says, "Fuck it, let's do it."
Yeah.
And this is where it's kind of grown to, and it's actually surpassed to what I was thinking it was going to be, because at the time I was mainly working in Canada only, and because of my mentor Nick Powell, he broadened my horizons. Nick Powell was stunt coordinator for Last Samurai, the Force Master for Braveheart, for Gladiator, Tristan and Isolde, Nacho Libre. I mean, this guy is Born Identity, second coordinator, second director. He's a whole world of knowledge. He's a tough cookie to crack at first.
Okay.
British are tough at first, and so, but once he just opened my eyes up to a lot of things, and so now the group's moved on. But it's not like I don't just hire just my team. Like I hire people that are, there's people in the team. Yeah, those are usually try and get those as priority first to be on the team. So if it's like G.I. Joe, like I got this show, I need this skills. Okay, so who in my team has these skills? Okay, great. I'm gonna try and bring those guys on, and then I start supplementing from people I know around the world that I work with.
Right, you're not exclusionary, but obviously your team, you already know who's and availability too. Just because you have them on your team doesn't mean they're always ready to go, just waiting around. So,
but for me, it's not about you don't have to be the absolute best in the world. If you are an asshole, then you don't get on because
yes. That's my team too.
Yeah, team cohesiveness is more important than everything because it's a family. We spend 8 months with you. Sifu Mimi-chan. We'll spend 8 months together on a show. I have to be able to want to get like you. I want to be able to stand on set with you for 14 hours and not want to throttle you. And I have to also know that you're not going to be a dick to other people, other productions, because when we do our group trainings in the morning, everyone's invited, from PAs to cooks to everyone can come and train, and I create that cohesiveness with the whole production, so they enjoy us, and they start to understand and trust us at the same time.
Yeah, I at first, when we first spoke, I'm like, that's it, I'm coming to your training camp, and then I saw the videos and I was like, I don't know. It gave me flashbacks of my training in China where, I'd get beaten with a stick.
Oh, come on. It's not that bad. 20s. Yeah, we do that a little bit. But I think it's more people who don't know that. They're like, whoa, this is crazy. It's actually kind of cool. They actually kind of like it,
I have PTSD. It's different. No, yeah. I'm still there. I may be selfishly asking, not just for like listeners, but like, all right, what is the chances? Do you need someone that can log roll? Because I think I can still do that. What can I bring to the table? Like, I'm still kind of determined to find my way to that training camp and find a way on one of your sets. But but essentially people do. They work hard and then they just like send you a video, or is there just like this open submission, or you just how you know people?
Everybody sends me videos or resumes.
Oh my gosh!
I always reply to everybody.
You have time to watch everything?
I don't watch all of them because some people like a 5-minute demo reel. I'm like, the same stuff they're just putting back over and over again different times. Okay, I'm doing a butterfly twist or backflip at this bridge. I'm doing a backflip on the top of this mountain. It's the same stuff they're doing. It's just like people need to get that. You don't need. Well, I see you can do it. Okay, it's great. But I don't know how old this video is. So you could have been doing this 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You can't do it now, but it's on your demo reel.
Right.
But I generally try and watch at least portions of. If the video entices me, I'll watch the whole thing. And
Right,
if it's
right, of
short,
course. Like a
yeah,
film. You're like, show me
yeah.
more.
And I'm,
Yeah.
I'm sitting, I'm sitting, I'm sitting doing budget, or I'm sitting reading the script or whatever, and I get this video. I'm like, okay, I need a break from reading because
Oh,
my head's.
yeah.
So I'll watch it, And I always reply to everybody. I always say,
Oh,
hey, thank
that's
you for
nice.
your submission. I'll use their name, just because and actually, if the reel is good, and I see that, hey, this is really good. And if you would like some pointers, if you don't mind some pointers, let me know. And if I think the video is good enough, I'll reply to them and ask them. I'll give you a pointer here or there if you want it. I don't just give it to them because like I know
Right.
everything. I'll give you my opinion on something. If they reply to me and say, yeah, I would love the input. Okay, great. That means they're open to criticism. It's constructive, and I'll give it. Say, try this, take that out, put this in, and make sure this is different. And that's it. And if they send me the reel next time, and things have changed, they've done things different. I know they listen because if you
Mm.
tell let's say 20 people, the 20 people, you tell them they all want to be stunt people. They want to be good. Okay, if you tell 20 people, okay, do this, do this, do this, and then come back and say how it happens. Out of 20 people, two will actually follow through.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, that's a great, yeah, that's a high percentage of
So
if they do that, then that also shows like how much they want it, right? And that
yes.
they can take directions, that they're humble enough to kind of come back through. So, okay, so like not a ton has changed in the industry. You're looking for nice people to work with.
Well, that's me. Some people like I'm not
Ah,
sure. I'm not sure. I know some teams out there that they just expect the elites, complete elites.
okay.
And it doesn't necessarily give you the best working environment, and many people don't care. But for me, I when people leave my show at the end of the show, I want them to feel like, man, that was epic. I want to do it again. And so next time I call them, they want to come because
Hmm.
they don't necessarily, it's not exactly the biggest movies in town. But I mean, like the last show, Operation Hadal, I mean, it's one of the biggest budget shows in China. It's all spearheaded by the director. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't really know. Did well, maybe, but
Hmm.
but I had like 13 different countries on there, and I had almost 100 guys on there from different parts of the world, and they all left with like, man, this was cool.
Yeah.
I still get emails from them, text messages saying, "You just missed the guys. They just missed the team."
Yeah.
Let's
You
see.
seem to do that. The Warrior family is very much like that from I've been great. I've been able to speak with so many, but yeah, it just feels like not just the fact that we want this show to come back from the cast to the crew to the fans, but I think it's just you guys love to have family reunions. Like you just want to be in the room together again too, because you enjoy each other so much. Like I feel that so genuinely from everyone I've spoken to. And that stems from a good part of it, of the culture that
Create.
yeah, that you create, which is fantastic, So, speaking of which, what is your don't stop believing? What is your thought on Warrior? Like, is there still a chance?
So listen, I talked to Shannon, and I talked to Justin because I called Justin Lin. Emailed him. I said, hey, you know what? In the season 3, I hope you enjoyed it because they also gave me episode 6 to direct
Yeah.
on season 3, which was tough. I mean, it had like 6 storylines. I'm like, why do you guys give me this one? They're like, you can handle it,
There
Brett.
you go. Yeah.
Yeah. But he said, Brett, this is not. Oh, this is what he said. He said, our adventure here is not done yet. He goes, we have some things brewing. Hopefully, it works. Brewing, and the same thing Shannon says. Shannon said she talked to Justin, but it depends. There's timeline issues. So obviously, if it goes too long, it just can't. Max owns the rights to it. They sold the rights to Netflix to air the first 3 seasons
Yep.
on the territories not covered by Max, which is kind of weird because Max still shows it like on Crave TV in Canada and certain countries. So
Okay.
on Netflix, Warrior doesn't show in Canada and like in UK and all these different places. So and even with that, I mean, we were still like for 71 days in top 10.
I know.
So
I
like,
was sending a thing every day to the
I
at
know.
Netflix, blah, 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 blah.
And the further the time goes lines, and obviously people age and things change and blah blah. So I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, like the Warrior fans on Facebook, I think there's like, what 12,000 or 16,000 members in the group, and they're still we messaging. Everyone's messaging every day, trying to go, which is they're fantastic. They're great.
Yes. Yes.
And the cast. I mean, I'm pretty sure the cast would pretty much drop anything just to do a fourth season to finish it,
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. So, and it's one of the things that really, really, that was the actual pinnacle of my career, and not just because of the film, but because of everyone involved. You have like Richard Sharkey, Lonnie Buster, you have Brad Kane, Jonathan Tropper. You have the guys, the showrunners for the last season was Evan Endicott and Josh Stoddard, and they were overseen by Jonathan Tropper. So, you know, it was just, the crew, phenomenal. The South
Yeah.
African crew, fantastic. The actors, you can't say anything. There's a couple of stunt guys that were going like, but otherwise,
All right, name names. I'm just kidding.
yeah, you have X amount of people, you're going to have one or two
Of
every once.
course. And people sometimes under whatever environment don't show their best selves, unfortunately, right? Like it just happens. You're right. You can't create a perfect environment, but oh gosh, yeah. I haven't stopped giving up hope. Langley hasn't stopped giving up hope from what I have just
Henry
talked
is
to
the
him.
most positive
He's so
person out
positive.
there.
He's amazing. And so it's been, it's one of those things. I feel like it's like the Firefly of this era where it's like the fans are like, we'll never give up. And we're going to give us at least a movie, right? So just like, we need closure.
Closure, yeah.
We need some closure. So
Everybody works hard. Like, I mean, Perry he's not a martial artist, but he was there every day training.
yes, well,
Chen
he's
Tang,
amazing.
he's not a martial artist, but he poured his guts into learning how to do whip chain, how to learn.
Yes, he talked to me about it.
Yeah, and he always had a smile. He's always like, and smiling. Even got like Telly never had to do any fighting, but he was there training with us. Chelsea Muirhead, she was there every single day. Man, she was late almost every day, and she made the whole team do push-ups every time because and there's one more person. Oh, it's my mind. The name. He played the police officer. Oh, don't get me wrong. Anyways, they were late.
Yeah, I know. Oh,
If they're in the mornings, they were late.
Tom.
Sorry?
Tom?
No.
No. Okay.
I don't know why I remember. I can't.
Okay.
I'm drawing a blank. But anyways, they were late in the morning. No, not
No,
Karen.
not Karen.
No, he played the cop in one of the on season 3.
Okay.
Anyways, they were late every single day.
The late people put their name on the board. Everyone does push-ups.
Well, it's because their pickup was the way it was arranged. So they would come like 10 minutes late every day. And I'm like, you're late. And like, so they had to do push-ups.
Yeah.
I said, okay, you don't do push-ups anymore. You got to stand there. Everyone else does push-ups now. And they're like, no.
Oh my God.
That's the way it goes. And then afterwards, they made it on time every day. After a couple of times.
It's effective, isn't it? Because you actually feel this sense of camaraderie that you don't want your team to go. And that's the point. Like, that's why football coaches run things the way they do. It's like one person drops the ball, the whole team,
One for all.
one for all. Yeah. And that is how you create a unit. Right. And you create a unit, or you create someone really hating that late person. You create everybody hating the late person.
I don't know. I'm drawing a blank.
It's okay. It's okay.
Police officer that blackmails Tom in season 3. Anyways,
okay. I'm not catching it. I'm like, well, I didn't get to speak to that person, so that's why I don't know.
Good. He's fantastic. He actually plays in The Lion King, the live show. He plays Timon.
Oh, fun. Okay.
Man, he is the happiest guy. But when you see him play on camera, he's like devious. Oh, it's great.
Amazing. Yeah, I feel every time I speak to you, so connected to your methodology of training. And like, I just feel like, again, I feel very related to you in a lot of ways. We have such similar, yes, here we are. So, I was thinking about like the now and the then and all of that. And I was looking at your IMDb, and your first credit there, I think, shows something like Ninja Turtles. Is that really your first? I mean, that's not what people realize, I think, don't realize is maybe just because it's your first credit, that's not really the first film or TV show or whatever that you actually did. But is that actually the first one?
No, well, the first The first credited film would be Ninja Turtles, but it was the TV series, not
Oh,
the
the a
movie.
TV series. Okay.
Yeah.
And I was trying to think about
Nick. His name's
Nick.
Nick.
Okay. All right,
Oh my
Nick,
God.
you owe
I
us
don't know how to think.
push-ups,
He's
but we'll take them out since
fantastic.
we couldn't remember your name. So sorry.
Uh, yeah, you should actually talk to him. He
Okay.
is Corleone, Nick Corleone. He's fantastic.
All right. I will do that. I will do that. But I was thinking like you're so experienced now. You have all of these credits, but also just so much time on set. It's like your second home or maybe your first home in some instances. You're
Yeah,
just
pretty
used to
much.
being there. Can you remember what it was like to kind of walk onto set, whether it was Ninja Turtles or something else that wasn't credited for the first time? And like how nervous do you remember like that feeling?
Yeah, my first one was a commercial called for karate fighters. It's those toys you put on these little sticks and you spin it,
Uh-huh.
and then the two guys they fight.
Okay,
They
yeah, yeah, yes.
you put the button in the middle, and he goes flying off.
Okay.
So yeah, that was Tattoo Terror. That was my first time, and I was because that's how I got into business. I was dating a girl, and she had an agency. She says, "Do you want to be in my agency?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" Because of my martial arts background. You there?
Yeah.
You And so I got on, and I didn't know what I was up for. I didn't even know what I was doing. So they sat me in this chair, and I had all these girls are buzzing around me, which is obviously a very nice thing. Great. They're hair and makeup girls, and so they're covering up my tattoos. One girl's giving me tattoos because I had tattoos here and here, and then one girl was giving me a tattoo here kind of like this,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and another girl was putting a prosthetics wig on and
Oh,
mat. So
wow.
I had like three or four girls all buzzing around me. I was like, yeah, I can get used to this. and then and then I just had I had to do this, and the director's like, hey, let's see you do this to this. I'm like, oh, okay. I started doing it, and there was a guy named Rick Ferracci, rest in peace, Rick. He was big. He's about 6'3", 6'4", big martial artist, and he was in the business a long time, and he's okay, Brett, do this, and so we're just fighting. Him and I are just fighting, and he kicks me, and he kicked me so hard it sent me off the screen, and it left his footprint on my chest where they had to redo it because we were fighting on sand. I don't know. You must know what it's like to do jump kicks on sand.
Yeah.
It's not it's you
Yes.
lose half your hops. It's
Yes.
like
Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
No
So
ground
I
to
would do
push
that.
from.
And they just had me doing jump spinning hook kicks and jumping side kicks all day on the sand. Jump spinning hook kicks, jump spinning hook kicks. I'm like, oh my God. But it was a rush. It was definitely a rush. And then I got off, and I was one of the stars of the show. So my first experience, and
Wow.
how these girls with fans on me, give me some water, some food, feeding me food.
All
I'm like,
right. This doesn't
great,
sound like the typical first experience at all.
great. And then 2 weeks later, got a check in the mail, thinking, yeah, I got to be doing this.
Yeah. For having fun all day and being doted
That's what I'm
after.
talking about. That's what I'm talking. We're having so much fun, and they're paying us to do this. I mean,
Yeah.
granted, it does take a lot of skill to do these things for
Right.
whatever
Right.
you're doing. It does. It definitely does.
Yeah.
And keep yourself safe, keep the actors safe, keep everyone
Yes.
safe. Uh,
Yes.
but I mean, yeah, it's definitely an art in its own.
Yeah. Speaking of which, are we any closer to stunts or action design being recognized in the Oscars?
Oh, I have no idea.
I
I have no
mean,
idea.
it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
Every time we're watching or the Oscars come out, I kind of get this like guttural reaction.
It just needs to have some recognition there, and I don't even know why they won't. I can't like and, no every division there, granted, has they're there for a reason. Okay, great, and
Yep.
they're recognized for casting. Okay, well, casting. I went through a book and I found a bunch of people. Okay, great, you're casting for making the sound effect or like a crunching nose or whatever it is. All this is well deserved to be there, but I don't understand when stunts is such a huge part of the film industry. I mean, half the people won't watch a movie if it doesn't have this kind of action, and the stunt performers in it endangering their lives, and we're doing this.
Exactly.
But
The
yet,
stakes are pretty high. I mean, it's like,
yeah,
oh, we could fucking die. Like, hello.
I'm not even fighting that. I'm just like, I have no idea. I mean, a lot of the times, I mean, you look at all these award shows, and are they half the time? Are they kind of like
Political or
political?
yeah,
That's
or like a popularity contest or something.
yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
100%. 100%. I mean, it's still nice to get the accolades. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
and I think it's still okay to be recognized even
yeah,
amidst these other factors happening. I mean, other awards recognize stunts and coordinators and design and so like the Emmys and it's just kind of annoying to me because it's such a huge part of the film experience in almost any film, not even an action film. Like there's
oh
very
yeah,
few
most
films that
certainly.
don't have like, oh, this one stunt or something happened or right. Like it's almost in every film. I mean, there's a few, of course, if it's just like a dialogue film and there's it's a pretty high
Exactly. I mean,
percentage. Like, can you imagine without having the stunt team there or the coordinator or any of it? It's just crazy to me.
well, what wouldn't happen? It'd be all CG. Well, which is coming to another thing, AI.
Yeah,
So, I mean, we'll see how that happens. I mean, it's going to be. I know they were talking about back in like I remember the early 2000s. They're like, oh, CG is going to take over, and there's going to be no more stunt performers and this and that. But now, then they made a way for it to blend together and made it even better.
hmm.
But now technology is so far advanced. So we'll see in the next 5 years how this takes place in regards to film and AI.
Yeah.
Because if we create AI so well, and that's one thing, because at some point they can only do things that are mechanical or shiny, look really like realistic, but they can never make humans look really.
Hmm.
They're at that point now where they're almost able to do that. So, now whether they can give the emotional touch, another story. And that's where I think that the one thing this will always have for us is the human aspect of everything.
Yeah, I think that still also plays for action, not just for acting, right? Like there's
Yeah.
still like a part of this that the humanity of it. And I think at some point though, isn't an AI generated film just animation? Like is that's just a different genre of film at that point? Like,
Yeah, but
it
I saw this one thing someone sent to me. It says, "Tell me what you think is AI here." And
and
it's
you
a
could yeah.
guy. He gets in a car. He shoots a couple of people. Gets in a car. Does a car chase. Smashes him. He gets out. Runs around. Ducks. Starts shooting. Gets shot. Falls down. And I said, "Okay, well, I think this AI. This is real. This that." They said, "No, it was all AI." And I was like, "Whoa!" I
Yeah.
said, "That's insane. That's actually insane." So the technology is getting there. What do you think?
Yeah.
They made this deal for SAG to do
Yes.
a
Yes.
2-year deal
Yes.
here because technology is close, so they can physically, if they take actors and they buy them out to use
Hmm.
their image, they can create anything they want.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I
I
mean,
know. I
it's
feel like
scary.
it's up to the viewers then to have this sense of like what kind of connectivity to film experience are they looking for? Is it just purely entertainment and you're just sitting here watching a thing like you said that's generated and like for me a lot of the time maybe because I had a little experience in the industry and I have empathy towards like wow, this is so hard to do, right? Whether it's action or whether it's acting or whether it's just that whole thing, just to get anything made is so difficult. Like, and so just like that hard work aspect and knowing like what went into just these 5 minutes of a scene and you just feel drawn in. But there's like this empathetic, emotional response that I don't know that you could get. Not that AI engineers and whatnot don't have a skill that it's a skill to do, but I feel like there's still something about humanity that I hope anyway that we can continue to hold on to and value. I mean, I hope. It
Well, I know. I mean, just so you know that in that last speech you did for the last
was a
year, it's
little
like,
bit
yeah, okay,
yeah.
so but yeah, I hope. But I mean, I think at the end of the day, people just want to be entertained. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the masses are going to care about.
Yeah, we're going into
If it
the
looks real and they believe it, great, they'll be happy. They just want to be entertained.
mm,
Whereas the film connoisseurs, like people that really invest in it, maybe they will have something to say about that. But the majority of the world is not. So I
yeah,
don't
you
know. I
think we're
hope.
going into the VR Ready Player One style world
Yeah.
where none of that matters. So we'll see. You're right. It just feels interesting because it feels like it's been such a quick jump, even though it has been kind of amping up slowly over time. We don't see it, but it just feels like it's this overnight thing. It went from this to this, and you're just like, whoa, okay, wow, we're there already. We're already at like Minority Report, like where it's like the
Right?
future. You know,
Yeah.
I'm like, are we there already? This is madness. So, I wanted your opinion, and I know that you know so many people in the industry, so you can opt out. But like, I wanted your opinion on the movie Fall Guy, because principally speaking, like, oh wow, super interesting that they took this very all-in approach with the criticism of actors who don't give credit to stunt performers and things like that, and very specifically after a specific actor, but also just from an entertainment aspect. And anyway, I can cut this if you're not comfortable because you know so many people. But I was
No. I mean, I actually haven't seen the movie yet.
really.
No, I haven't. I just said I haven't. I don't know. I just haven't seen it yet.
All right, that's the one you and I are going to watch together. I'm calling it movie night with Brett Chan.
A lot of my friends worked on it.
Yes.
The stunt coordinator is a friend of mine named Kierbeck. He is probably one of the top riggers in the world. He's
Because I
also,
loved it.
yeah, he's also
Spoiler.
a great stunt coordinator. And I mean, the stunts they did in that show are like outrageous, but they're fantastic. I mean, some of the biggest stuff they're doing, and they probably wouldn't ever make you do it because a lot of things that are being stunts were happening was because it's a movie,
Right.
And it was in the movie to be over the
Right.
top.
It was a movie about the movie
Cool.
about, yes.
Right? Oh yeah, and then Dave Leitch directed it. So yeah, I mean, I haven't seen it, but I just heard because this is what I've heard anyway. So I heard that the story was lacking a lot. So it didn't entice you, but it's so if you're going to watch a movie just for the stunts, then it's definitely the movie you want to watch. Because the stunts were insane. As far as performance acting wise, I actually can't comment on that.
Right.
But stunts, I mean, the guys all nailed it. I mean, and actually a lot of those guys who were on that film worked on the movie in China with me.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah,
You're talking about, yeah. I mean, I don't know that from a story aspect, it meant to take itself so seriously anyway. I think it was just kind of like a little bit meant to just be a little bit funny and slapstick and make a point. And I think in that aspect, sometimes that's okay because you're not meant to actually believe this is a plot that's happening.
Right.
But
yeah, so that's why I couldn't give any feedback on it.
All right. Well, that's it. We are watching this one together. I'm calling it, and then we're going to talk about it if you're open to it. But yeah, I was just super curious because I think as a stunt performer, there's a bit of okay, I feel this, right? You feel underappreciated and you feel like it's just like, hey, I'm good. Thumbs up all the time, even though I almost broke my back. Thumbs up, even though
That's my head.
Yes.
Yeah, I broke my
I'm
arm.
bleeding, but I'm good. I was like, I felt that once. I had like the black eye. I could look up and see my head. I'm like, I'm good. And I'm like, the fact that I've done that, I go, wow, yeah, that's kind of problematic, actually.
I think Ryan Gosling, I think he had like 3 stunt doubles because, there's so many things that have to be done at the same time.
At the same time, yes.
When one gets injured, you need to have, those stunts were like they're insane stuff.
Insane. Like, I've never done driving.
A dream.
Yeah, I've never done
dream.
Right? I've never done driving, but I can only imagine people who actually know what goes into that thinking, wow, this was pretty insane. And I think they did like a world record for, all the, for some of that stuff in there everything. Crazy stuff. So, oh my gosh. Well, you've had a lot of downtime according to you. And so what have you been doing with that time? Have you just been like you said, you've been doing some knee rehab, but are you just like enjoying yourself? Are you getting to actually tour around some of the places that you have to work at and just have that? What do you do for your downtime and just relax? What does relaxing Brett do? Or you and your wife?
I sold my house in Vancouver and I bought a place in Romania.
Okay, so you're there permanent. No wonder you're always there.
I'm there in both places. I'm both.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
And we went to London. I had a meeting there for a show that I'm doing in London, which will be later on this year. And then I had a meeting with another show, one for Toronto and one in Vancouver, which would be up before the London show. And basically, what I've been doing is a lot of things I haven't been doing is basically watching the shows and things that are coming out. So I started watching some shows, and I've backdated it to like 2016, and some of these shows are fantastic. The Last Ship. Oh my God, it's awesome. Like Goliath, The Last Ship. I mean, it's these shows. Ted Lasso. So I went to
Oh,
London. I went to where they
oh,
shot
you
Ted Lasso.
went and did the.
Oh, it was so awesome. It was so great.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
and I'm watching a lot of so a lot of times when I shoot stuff, even whether it's drama, whether it's I like to take shots from like Korean films. I have
Okay.
it's a big influence in how I like to shoot it and how I like to project
Interesting.
emotion. I feel like the Korean films and the Korean actors. I feel like they're very like you feel it like. And a lot of times, a lot of them has plastic surgery or whatever. You can't really project that image. Sometimes they don't have the facial expressions because you obviously surgery or like jazz, but they do it. And the way the Koreans capture that emotion, especially with kids, and I just love it. And so when I do a lot of stuff when I'm shooting action, I like to reference a lot from Japanese anime. Now, Japanese
Okay.
anime, you can't do those shots half the time, but you create something like it and
Okay.
try to get to that point. And I feel that it just creates momentum, moving momentum, as opposed
Mhm.
to just shots cutting.
Right.
So I
Right.
try and create a shot so I'm elongating it a bit.
What are some of your top anime loves?
Right now, well, Demon Slayer has always been my thing.
Okay. Okay. Demon Slayer.
Demon
That's very
Slayer,
popular.
yeah, yeah. Solo leveling.
Okay.
That's yes, actually, and kind of right now it's kind of annoying one, but I'm just watching it. Is Shangri-La Frontier?
Okay. I'm not up to date on a lot of things, but I'm always
Ryzen
interested.
was actually really cool too. Um, and what else? Just just
Yeah.
actually one of my all-time favorites is Sword Art Online.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm taking these as Brett Chan recommendations.
Well, but these are just the ones I'm watching for certain shots, and I don't necessarily have to watch because if you watch the fighting shows, they're all cut, like a comic book style, which is what I don't
Yes.
want.
Right,
Um,
right. Yes, yes.
unless I
Yeah,
want to create that.
continuity, I don't think people realize how important it is, except for when they know something's not right. They maybe don't
Yeah.
realize it's because that continuity. And kind of what you were saying earlier in the podcast, when you have somebody that they decide they want to do this, even though the actors can't do it, and they still go ahead with it, and then that means you're doing cuts, and it takes you out of that feeling, that continuity. You don't get that nice
I'm
flow.
not saying
And
it's
so,
wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's
right, it's
definitely
just a different
place.
style. Yeah, and
You
it's
just can't do it all the
all the
time.
time. Yeah.
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 It's like, like you like apple pie. You like apple pie? Yeah. Can you have apple pie breakfast, lunch, and dinner? No, it just, you want to be when you only give it sometimes and it's more impactful. I mean, that's my personal opinion. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that everyone should do that. I'm just saying it's my
Right,
personal.
right, right, right. Yeah, no. This makes sense. Makes sense. And as we start to wrap, because I know you have other things to do on your time, but we haven't gotten to actually speak since Wednesday and also Halo. And I just wanted to give you some shout outs because I was so excited, and I got to talk to Jenny, of course, and she's so amazing. And when I asked you the question earlier about Hits International and that, I'm thinking, God, if we all needed her like level of athleticism, none of us have a chance. Nobody has a chance. No one has a chance because she is just like this
Well, she's a hard
incredible.
worker.
Oh my gosh, she's phenomenal. But just physically, she's just such an amazing movement like
She wasn't a martial
practitioner.
arts at all.
Yeah.
We had a really teacher.
Yes. I mean, I
Because
could tell that. I will admit, I could tell that. But her movement, just her abilities as a gymnast and all of that, they make the greatest segue into martial arts because they just
well,
know their body.
she can do is it a backflip or is it a
Like a
front flip?
layout step out and like hit her head.
Her head to her ass.
I
Well,
know.
yeah, I know. I mean, that's kind of cool.
Kind of.
Yeah.
So the next
don't-
one that you do, I really need to see that in the film somehow. Can you make the scene work so it makes sense for her
Well,
to do that?
we kind of did on,
No,
on
yeah,
Wednesday.
and when the on Wednesday. Okay,
She did,
okay.
like kick off the hat. She kicked the guy's hat off as she did it. Her body kind of that. We
Okay.
kind of did that.
Okay, okay.
But her shoes were this big. She had to wear these big platform shoes, so it was a little harder for her actually to complete it. But yeah, and that fight scene. That was like we literally had like one day and like
Wow.
half a day to finish all the rest. It was like it was crazy. But she did season 2, in which that movie that got pushed for me in September. That's one of the reasons why I turned down season 2 of Wednesday. Kind of sucks.
Yes.
So we'll see.
Yeah, but all the things in that first episode of Halo that came out, Oscar and I were like, "Oh my God, the action!" It's just super cool. So it's just always super cool to be able to follow your work and see everything come to life on screen. And I'm very grateful that you're still so passionate, because that means I get to enjoy the work that you're going to continue to do and make. One day I will just randomly show up and like, I'm here for training camp, and I will be there on time, which means early, as you and I said earlier in this off air. I'll be there on time, which is early, because I would definitely not be the one making others do push-ups.
But I mean, anything's turning good on my shows I always have a solid team.
Yeah. Oh, 100%, 100%.
They make me look good.
Oh, and I've gotten to talk to, a lot of people from the team, and just it's been fantastic, and everybody loves working with you. Just so you know, no one says anything behind off air. I'm like, oh, that Brett Chan. I mean, I will say a lot of them's like, wow, he is a taskmaster in the thing. And I think Langley was teasing about, well, actually, he's got his team that runs the class, and Brett will sit there and be like, you're doing that wrong. That's not very good. And you get to kind of go around and be like the old kung fu master, right? And just give the comments. But yes, it's fantastic. I wish you all of the best. Stay healthy, and can't wait to see what you do next. And I can't wait for 16. So please keep me posted on that. That's going to be absolutely phenomenal.
From your lips to God's ears. Hopefully it goes.
We're on it. All right. Brett Chan, everybody.
See Believe Chan. See ya.
That's all for today's episode. Thanks for listening to The Sifu Mimi Chan Show. Please subscribe and rate my podcast on your platform of choice and leave a review. You can become a patron of the show at patreon.com/SifuMimiChan to help keep this podcast going. Follow me and interact on social media at Sifu Mimi Chan on Instagram or Facebook.